What's going on, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the channel. And today we've got a full breakdown of everything that's been going down at Raiders training camp. We've hit that point where the helmets are off and the pads are officially on, and that means it's time to separate the hype from the reality. We've had a full week of practices now, and this is where we start seeing who's rising, who's falling, and who's out there grinding like their roster spot depends on it, because for a lot of guys, it actually does. And with all that, it felt like the perfect moment to dive into our list of the biggest winners and losers so far at Raiders camp, starting with the offensive side of the ball. We're gonna walk through players who've made a real impression, guys who maybe weren't even on the radar 2 weeks ago, but now they're stealing reps with the ones, making plays, building chemistry, and honestly, forcing coaches to pay attention. We're also gonna hit the other end of the spectrum, some names you might have expected to stand out, who just haven't shown up yet, and maybe, just maybe, are in danger of falling out of the mix. So buckle up, because we've got a lot to cover. Starting us off at number 5 among the offensive winners, it's Jakobi Meyers. And here's the thing with Meyers, this dude has come into camp like a professional. Every single day you hear about how he's being used by Geno Smith as a safety valve, a security blanket, someone the quarterback can trust when everything else breaks down. Last year, it was Jackson Smith-Njigba filling that role in Seattle, not DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. Now it's looking like Meyers might be that guy in this Raiders offense. He's catching everything thrown his way, running clean routes, and already developing real chemistry with Geno. Even more impressive, he's doing it without any guaranteed money. That tells you something about his work ethic and mindset. He's here to prove something, and he's making it hard to ignore. Number 4 is Ashton Jeanty. Now, this one gets a lot of attention because everyone wanted to know, could he catch the football? We already know Jeanty can run between the tackles. He's a tough, explosive back. But this coaching staff made it clear, if you're gonna be special in this offense, you've got to be a pass catcher too, and so far, he's showing that he can absolutely do it. Word coming out of camp is that he's a better receiver than most gave him credit for. He's trimmed down just a bit, gotten quicker, and you can tell he's locked in. Jeanty isn't just fighting for carries, he's pushing to become a featured weapon in Chip Kelly's scheme. And it's working. Coming in at number 3 is a bit of a surprise, Ian Thomas. Now, the tight end room was one of the bigger question marks coming into this offseason. You've got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and a bunch of other names trying to stand out. What's caught everyone off guard is how consistently good Ian Thomas has been. From what we're hearing, he's clearly the third tight end behind Bowers and Mayer. And it's not even close. He's been solid in the red zone, reliable in blocking situations, and has had a real connection with backup QB Aidan O'Connell. It's easy to overlook a guy like Thomas when you've got the big names in front of him, but he's carved out a role, and the coaches have taken notice. Now let's talk about Dante Thornton Jr. This kid has been one of the breakout stars of camp. He's got that size-speed combo that just jumps off the field. 6'5", runs a 4.35, and can stretch the defense vertically. Every day at practice, he's been working with the ones. That's a big deal. You've got Jack Beck running with the 2s, while Thornton keeps getting those first-team reps. Even when the staff rotates and other receivers takes Trey Tucker off the field, moves guys around, Thornton stays in the mix. He's got that it factor, and he's making a serious case to be the number 2 receiver on this team. His ability to be a decoy, to block, to create space, it's making life easier for the rest of the offense. But if we're talking about the biggest winner on offense so far, there's one name that has to come up, Jordan Meredith. And look, this is the kind of story you love to see at training camp. A guy who wasn't even in the conversation a few weeks ago, suddenly getting reps over Jackson Powers Johnson. Let me say that again, Jordan Meredith is running with the first-team offense over JPJ. That's huge. Now, we're not saying he's going to start week 1, but the fact that he's earned those reps shows how much he's elevated his game. That's what camp is all about, taking advantage of opportunity, and Meredith is doing exactly that. Coaches are watching, and he's forcing their hand. Whether it's a depth chart shakeup or just giving him more looks to build chemistry with Geno, Meredith has earned his flowers, no question. Before we shift to the offensive losers, there are a few honorable mentions worth shouting out. The quarterbacks, both of them, have looked sharp. There's real confidence in the pocket, good ball placement, and leadership starting to emerge. Trey Tucker's been flashing his deep threat speed. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer are both getting serious work in Chip Kelly's offense, and if you're a tight end fan, you've got to love what you're seeing. That group looks stacked. All right, now we've got to talk about the other side of it, the players who, for one reason or another, haven't quite lived up to the hype yet. At number 3 among the offensive losers, it's Dylan Lobb, and this one stings a bit because Lobb is such a likable guy. High character, hard worker. But the reality is that he's falling behind in the running back rotation. He's also losing ground on special teams, and in a camp where every rep matters, that's tough. Jeansy's impressing, Sincere McCormick's doing well, Zamir White has come into camp lighter and quicker, and Raheem Mostert is doing his thing. Lobb's just not standing out, and in this league, if you're not rising, you're fading. That's the cold truth of it. Coming in at number 2 is Kyle Phillips. Now, there was a moment when it looked like he might push for a roster spot. Some even thought he could be a sneaky addition to the receiver rotation. But based on everything we're hearing, that's just not happening right now. He's getting pushed out by guys like Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, Jack Beck, even Tommy Mellott, and then the Raiders go out and sign more competition: Philip Dorsett, Seth Williams. That's a clear sign they're looking for more juice at the position. And Phillips just hasn't brought it. He could still turn it around, maybe flash in the preseason. But right now, he's definitely on the outside looking in, and the biggest loser on offense so far. It's got to be Jackson Powers Johnson, and believe me, this one hurts. JPJ is a beast. I still believe there aren't 5 offensive linemen on this team better than him. But the last 2 practices have seen him working as a backup while Jordan Meredith takes the first team snaps at center. That's a red flag. Now, some people around the team say this could be about building chemistry between Meredith and Geno, or maybe just easing JPJ back in because of some injury concerns from last season. But whatever the reason, when you've got a second-round pick sitting behind a guy who wasn't even in the conversation, that's something you've got to pay attention to. If this team rolls out a starting offensive line without JPJ in it, questions are going to be asked. You better believe it. All right, we've still got a lot more to cover. We haven't even gotten to the defensive side yet, where some new faces are making real noise and others are quietly fading. So stick around, because coming up next, we're breaking down the winners on defense, and trust me, there are some surprises. Let's get into it. Let's jump right back into it, Raider Nation, because we're not stopping at the offense. The defense has just as many storylines coming out of this first full week of camp. With the pads finally on, we're seeing a clearer picture of who's earning trust, who's flying under the radar, and who's being put in position to make an impact once the games start. And just like on offense, we're going to break down the biggest defensive winners and losers so far. These are the guys either grabbing attention for all the right reasons, or slipping just a little as this roster battle heats up, kicking things off. Let's talk about someone who came almost out of nowhere: Tommy Eichenberg. Before this week, you probably didn't hear his name much, maybe not at all. But then boom, Sunday's practice hits, and he's working with the ones. Now that's something to talk about. This wasn't just a random rotation either. This was the ones are with the ones, the twos are with the twos type of practice. And there he was, first team reps. And you've got to remember, the Raiders linebacker rotation has been pretty well defined. Jermaine Pratt, Landon Roberts, and Devin White. That's your top 3, or so we thought. But with Pratt dealing with a bit of hamstring tightness, the door cracked open, and Eichenberg ran straight through it. He's proving he deserves that shot. And if he keeps this up, he could shake things up even when everyone's healthy. And let's be real, linebacker depth is never a bad thing. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders, and don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A major shakeup could be brewing in the NFL, as rumors swirl around the possible departure of DK Metcalf from the Pittsburgh Steelers. According to insider chatter, the explosive wide receiver might be on the verge of signing a blockbuster deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, sending waves through the league. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation hint that the Raiders are aggressively pursuing Metcalf, aiming to bolster their offense. With one of the most dynamic playmakers in the game, Metcalf, known for his incredible combination of size, speed, and catching ability, has been a standout performer since entering the league. His time with the Steelers has seen moments of brilliance, but there's speculation that both parties might be ready for a fresh start. The Steelers, grappling with roster restructuring and salary cap considerations, may be willing to let the star receiver walk if the financial terms get too steep. On the other hand, the Raiders seem poised to go all in. reportedly ready to offer a mega contract that could make Metcalf one of the highest paid receivers in the NFL. If this deal comes to fruition, it would mark a significant shift in the AFC landscape. The Raiders, who have been searching for a true game-changer on offense, would instantly gain a weapon capable of altering defensive schemes across the league. Metcalf's presence would not only open up opportunities for the Raiders' quarterback, but also inject a new level of excitement into their passing attack. This potential acquisition could be the missing piece for a team hungry to return to playoff contention. Meanwhile, fans and analysts alike are buzzing about how this move might impact the Steelers' offensive strategy. Losing a receiver of Metcalf's caliber would certainly create a void, forcing Pittsburgh to rely more heavily on other targets and perhaps adjust their play calling to compensate. Questions are already being raised about how the Steelers plan to replace such a dynamic athlete, and whether their current roster has the depth to absorb this loss. The NFL offseason is always a time of speculation and surprises, and the possibility of DK Metcalf joining the Raiders adds yet another intriguing storyline. As negotiations reportedly continue behind closed doors, the league waits to see if this mega contract materializes into one of the biggest signings of the year. For now, all eyes remain on Las Vegas and Pittsburgh, with fans eagerly anticipating what could be a landmark moment for both franchises. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.